Alrighty. So today there will be a special stream. I figured, sometimes some news comes up, sometimes something happens, and you don't have time, right, to put out a video and to edit and things like that. So today, we'll talk about this. I'm just going to wait a little bit here and kind of see what happens. Let's see here. I will wait a little bit for a few people to come in. I don't actually stream during this time ever, so there's no surprise that I'll have to wait a bit here for some people to come in. And I will go ahead and post on the community tab. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. So yeah, for those that haven't heard, basically Hu Jintao, of course, the previous prime minister of China, was escorted, of course, out of the congressional meeting for, basically Xi Jinping. In this case, let's be honest. The meetings are actually, at this point, are just a show of force for Xi Jinping. And Hu Jintao was escorted out, and probably watched the video a few times through this stream. Probably going to be a 30-minute stream. Not going to stream for an hour about this since there is another stream tomorrow. But I'll put it up just to get something up, and here we go. So I think you guys should be able to hear it. Should be okay. I don't know how loud it will be. So you'll notice how everybody will vote for Xi Jinping, of course. 没有。So as you can see, like there's not a single person. Like it's hilarious how people want to attack the West and say that the way that we're doing politics in the West isn't working because there's disagreements. But look how it is in what is now confirmed. This essentially confirms that it's essentially a dictatorship here, what we're seeing in China, and we've known this for a long time. Let's be honest. There's not a single person that is stupid enough to not see that Xi Jinping is a dictator, that Xi Jinping is essentially running the country on his own, and that the rest of the people are pretty much just a bunch of yes men that are afraid of him and have to agree with him and has to do what he says. So you'll see the same thing that you would see in like North Korea, how there's 100% of the vote for Xi Jinping all the time, and anyone that is potentially against him, you get removed. So you'll see that here in a second. So here's the very important part. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you having? What's going on? Like, why are they removing me from something so important? For those that don't know, there's this stupid idea that a lot of people in China have this really stupid idea. They think that because there's one party, that everyone agrees, that everyone's on the same page, that that there's no disagreements, and that's BS. For anyone that has studied, the politics of China, or reads and understands about communism, reads and understands about, single party systems, you know that there are fractions always. There's always fractions, right? And this is how it happens, really. This is how communism always gets put in place. This is how dictators always happen. You've always got some really weak government, a lot of times a single party system that rules over the land, and then one person in that party system becomes really strong. That single party system loses control because that single person has everyone afraid to say no to them, and then that person just becomes a dictator. And again, while everyone already knew what was going on, today confirms it. Today it was done on camera. Today it was done in front of everyone. Today it was done in a sense to show that Xi Jinping has risen to power, has this is the guy, this is the dictator, right? And Xi Jinping is not going to allow anyone to stand in his way, right? And this is the evidence. This is the proof. This is the smoking gun. There is no one that can say that Xi Jinping is no longer a dictator. That he's literally just running a party. He is a dictator, and this is the evidence. And this is his way of saying, "Look out!" This is the evidence. To anyone that thought that there was a chance that Xi Jinping was being put in check, they literally just had Hu Jintao removed. The Hu Jintao was he definitely wasn't a strong president, but he was more likable than Xi Jinping, which is understandable, right? But Xi Jinping has just now shown how ruthless he is, how he's willing to take you out. He's willing to cut your head off in front of the entire world if he has to. If he has to. It's in America, we look at our politicians, we watch them argue with each other on stage, and we laugh about it and we joke about it. But could you imagine if one of our politicians had another politician just removed off stage during a debate and they were like, you know what, I win? That's what's happening right now. Is a political candidate in China has literally just said, hey, this is my country, I'm controlling it, and that's this is my government, period. So let's see. Let's read some comments real quick here. Like I said, I'm only going to do probably 20-30 minutes today. There will be a stream tomorrow, but this is such a huge discussion here. This is going to change the world. There's going to be big things come out soon in China because of this thing here. This is something that should be on every news channel everywhere right now. Because that's just the thing. This is a huge deal. So let's read some comments real quick. We were talking about Hu and Zemin with my friends literally half a day before it happened. What a coincidence. Yeah, we've talked about how perhaps a lot of the different fractions of the party, could maybe control him, and we've done that jokingly, right? We know that that's never really going to happen. He's already been in power, but D-Sky says, did you ban Dieter Andrew? I have no idea who that is. I don't know who that is. How could I haven't banned anyone. I've only been on here for 9 minutes. And that single person is always some small, non-important sideline guy too. Yeah, that's the thing. Is here's the thing. It's you slowly see people, break out and be kicked out and things like that. But not only that, this isn't really even a small person. This is Hu Jintao, right? This is someone that is in opposition to Xi Jinping and has been openly and spoke out against Xi Jinping. And this was kind of, I don't want to say he was a hope. It definitely wasn't a hope. But it was kind of well, at least there's somebody that disagrees with him a little bit. Someone that's willing to say that maybe he's incorrect in certain ways. But now even Hu Jintao is gone. You've had there's still a few guys left, but I assume that they won't be lasting, very, very long in this case. Uh, Chipotle Man says she only cares about she. That's true. Xi Jinping is very um, self empowering at this point. He continues to give himself more and more and more powers, more and more jobs and things within the government, and just continues to move more and more towards dictatorship. You know, poison his opponents, even like I've heard about Putin. Who knows at this point, right? Who knows? I think the situation with Hu Jintao is a interesting situation because he's definitely removed from power. Like there's no power going to be left for him. Um, but they still can't just like murder him on stage, right? Like they definitely cut his head off, but like it's done in a symbolic way, right? I don't see them like throwing him in jail or like whatever or anything like that. They'll they'll do something with him though to make it look and appear as if he's changed his ways and he supports the party now. You know, why can't Dieter comment here? I'm sure Dieter, whoever that is, can comment anywhere they want. I don't know why they can't comment here if they can't. If you're so unhappy with him, why put so much time talking about him? Is this your selling point? That might be like one of the stupidest things that I've heard. Like that's for sure the stupidest thing I've heard all day. If you're unhappy with someone, why put so much time in talking about them? Oh, I don't know, because they control China, pretty much the largest opposition. I mean, like, is this even a serious question? Lot 130 says, if you're unhappy with him, why put so much time talking about him? Is this your selling point? Is that a serious question? Is that what I mean? Like this is the problem with idiotic people. You don't understand. You're talking about the president of China, the aka the dictator, the king of China now. Someone that has no limits to what he can do with a military, no limits to what he can do with the country and its power and its people. Someone that oppresses its people and wants to expand the world. Think about that. They want to take Taiwan. They want to take Hong Kong. They want to take these other countries. They're expanding in a way that the Nazis tried to expand years ago. And then you say, well, you don't like him. If you don't like him, why you talk about him? Well, I don't know. If people didn't like Hitler, then why did they talk about him? Well, I don't know, because he was trying to take over the world, right? Like, it's such an ignorant thing to say. Let's see. Go away. You're anti-China. No, actually, like I'm very pro-China, but I'm very pro-Chinese people. Very pro-Chinese people. I want people in China to have freedom. I want the world to have their freedoms. I want Chinese people to make more money. I want Chinese people to have a better lifestyle. I want Chinese people to know that you can love your country without loving your government. You know what I mean? So I'm more pro-China than the people that say that they're pro-China. If they really loved and cared for China that much, they would want what was best for the people, for the people of China, not the government of China. And that's the problem, is that Xi Jinping doesn't want what's good for Chinese people. Xi Jinping wants good for Chinese people. And I mean Chinese people, Chinese person, and I mean himself. Xi Jinping wants what's good for himself, You Westerners all badmouth China, how they manage their country. Go take a look at USA and Britain. Liz Truss only on her job as Prime Minister 45 days. Isn't a job. Again, more stupid Wu Mao comments. Just because there are problems in other countries doesn't mean that the problems in China don't exist. It's true. The Western world has made lots of mistakes. That doesn't mean that China's mistakes don't affect the rest of the world. That doesn't mean that it's okay for China to oppress its people just because it's happening somewhere across the globe, right? But it's okay. I love the Wu Mao comments because they show the ignorance, and they are evidence that what happens in China is real, that the brainwashing is real, that people like Xi Jinping here are actually brainwashing their people. Why don't you mind your own business? Hong Kong and Taiwan are always belong to China. Never you mind care for Chinese people. Why don't you mind your own business? Hong Kong. No, actually, Hong Kong didn't always belong. to China. Actually, at one time, Britain did own Hong Kong. It was actually given back. Taiwan was actually its own place long before, the government even was around. It's a piece of land. To say that they've always owned it, you know, that's just not the way that it works. That's the stupid idea. Is that a lot of the Wu Mao in China, they always want to take the history back only as far as it'll go. They want to take it back to their beginning and no one else's beginning. If you want to be realistic about China, the other party, not the Communist Party, was actually in power before the Communist Party. So if you want to take it back that far, that's fine. And then if you want to take it back even further, the Han people in China didn't actually have control of China at all. Actually, the Han people expanded throughout China and took most of the land back that they never actually owned. Han people actually only come from a really small sliver of place in China and took all that over, but they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the history, about how the Mongols had conquered, all of that land and that they actually took it from them, that, all this expansionism and things that they claim the West and all that did, and it was so horrible, and all the killing and the wars and things, they actually did that too, and are trying to do the same thing with Taiwan nowadays. And that's another reason that this man here, Xi Jinping, is such an important piece, because now he said, I'm a dictator, I'll do whatever I want, and he wants to take Taiwan. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So Xi Jinping kicking out Jintao. You can see here that multiple people try to even question what's going on, and Xi Jinping doesn't do anything. He literally he's the one that causes it. He's the one that had it done. So of course, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to stop it, of course. And multiple people had even questioned it when it was happening, and they were stopped also. So that's just the way that it is. You have a crazy psycho dictator here now, and he's a very dangerous man in a sense, and he's giving himself more power. So let's see. So Squatsy, I can't see your name. I'm so far away from the screen right now. He's talking about Ming rebels and things like that. China was ruled by Qing, escaped to Taiwan, owned by the Dutch, who lived in peace with locals, rebellious Ming. And that's the other thing. They always talk about China owned Taiwan. Oh, really? Well, then, what are all those native people that they had there? What were they doing there? They weren't Han people. Those people were native to that land. To act as if Han people were the first ones there. It's like, come on, bro, come on. You're only choosing to listen to the history that you want. You're not willing to take it back to the history that is actually honest and truthful. Again, that's the reason that people like Xi Jinping here shouldn't be in power, because they're clearly brainwashing their own people, and their own people are too stupid to even know it in this way. They literally don't know. They have been brainwashed for so long since being a child that it has caused them to be stupid in that way. They don't know. And perhaps stupid is a really harsh word, but it does. When you have a government, they force you into stupidity like this. This government has forced people into stupidity. They literally do not know that they've been controlled, that they have been controlled for this time, So it's crazy. It's crazy. Ming was one of the China rulers. Study your history. I think that's the funny thing. When I lived in China, that I learned a lot about Chinese people in history too, is a lot of Chinese people don't really know the history of China all of that well. It's really kind of weird. And the reason for that is because the communist government doesn't really care that much about the history of China until its point of coming into power, and then from then on, doesn't care about the history. Now, of course, you have you have a lot of the as you could say, the Chinese history that's not real. A lot of the dynasty type histories and things. When you play a lot of the video games, they'll talk about all these characters that have been created, and they're and dragons and all that type of weirdo shit that we know is not real, and created characters, and that stuff is kind of left over, but it's like you know they don't want to discuss the historical political events before then. They don't want to discuss how these dynasties were essentially killing each other left and right. They don't want to discuss how like China has been at war for all these years and years and years, because it changes the agenda of what they want people to believe today with the communist government. So they don't teach that shit to people. They don't teach it to kids really. Yeah, give back Taiwan to the Netherlands. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like they don't want to take it back that far though. They don't want to do that. They don't want to go back to as far as not beneficial for them. You know, Hong Kong was never an independent island. It was rented to Britain under the unfair treaty because of the Opium War. And then they always bring up the Opium War too. I like that one. It's the Opium War. They always want to bring that up and like hold on to the Opium War thing. It's because of the Opium War. But it's like when Japan was single-handedly destroying China and the Western world jumped in and saved them. They're like, oh no, that never happened. Didn't happen at all. They never want to acknowledge any of that type of stuff. Because that's just the way that it is. The communists have stopped the teaching of actual history in China, and it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It really is. But I guess that's all I'm going to talk about in today's video. Again, there will be a video tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a live stream, not a video. I keep saying a video. There's going to be a live stream tomorrow with Lewis, aka Shillbuster, and there will be a stream tomorrow again with Shillbusters, and we will talk tomorrow about a new shill, a different type of shill, and should be interesting. The Wu Mao says you cannot deny the history. Opium War is well known. Yeah, we know about the history of the Opium War. That's the reason that we know that in China they essentially just play the victim in that way about the Opium War. They don't tell the whole story about the Opium War ever. They only talk about how it caused issue in China. They never talk about both sides of the story. Because that's how it really is. And things in life, you always find that there are two sides to every coin. That there's always good and bad on both sides. So, but I'm going to end the stream today. Hopefully you guys can come by tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Me and Shillbusters will be doing a stream. I'll post about it on my community tab fairly soon to give people a reminder. Hopefully you guys come tomorrow. So I will see you then. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.